being joined by Ambassador Kanwal Sibal, someone who has been Indian ambassador to Turkey, Egypt, France and Russia. Ambassador Sibal, let's talk about these visuals. You know, two critical meetings that have happened. This is happening even as we speak. National Security Advisor in the new Trump administration calling on Prime Minister Modi. And previously, last night, in fact, there was that meeting which happened between Director of Intelligence, which is Tulsi Gabbard. What do you think will be the outcome of these meetings?
These are preparatory meetings, get to know each other. And both these individuals are very positive towards India. They have shown their commitment to India over a long period of time. And they are an asset for us. In the case of the new Director of National Intelligence, Modi would have certainly laid out his concerns about terrorism and about threats to our security emanating from US soil, the Khalistani movement, which needs to be controlled. Plus, in general, more intelligence cooperation between the two countries, which exists on the ground, but now we can expect it to be strengthened further, and this can be very, very helpful. We have concerns about some of the activities of the United States previous administration in our periphery, especially in Bangladesh, and therefore there would be also good scope for talking about our concerns in this regard about stabilizing our periphery and the role that the US could play in sharing intelligence with regard to terrorism, Islamic fundamentalism growing in this region, the situation on the ground in Afghanistan, what's happening in Pakistan. Now, all these things couldn't have been discussed in this get-to-know meeting, but these are the concerns we have, and some general reference would have been made to these concerns. With the National Security Advisor, apart from these general concerns, the most important thing would be the ICET. This was a very, very major step that was taken by both sides, including Indus X, in order to open doors for technology cooperation between the two countries in critical and emerging technologies. There is, independently of the China threat in these areas, the need for India and the United States to mutually work together to expand their own capacities in this area. But the Chinese threat makes this cooperation even more urgent, because it's quite clear that China has gained a great deal of advance, even in some areas over the United States. And therefore, United States and India can work together, and India can offer its technological manpower and its expertise and its human potential. The kind of scale that we can offer to the United States is tremendous. I mean, the number of Indians who are working on artificial intelligence is the largest in the world. And look at the design of the designing of the some of the technologies that are done in India, especially semiconductors. Most of the designing is being done in India, and it's American firms that are getting the maximum advantage out of it. And there is, of course, the whole issue of artificial intelligence. Now, why I'm saying this is that earlier the National Security Advisor of the United States and the National Security Advisor of India were co-chairing this initiative.
Yes.
And it is important that the White House takes ownership of this under the new administration, even though I understand they might rebrand it and call it by a different name, so as it does not appear that it is a legacy issue of the Biden administration, about which the new administration is very sensitive. So it's a very important meeting in terms of, as I said, get to know each other and have exchange in terms of what are the broad perspectives both sides have about the relationship going forward.
Okay, Ambassador Sibal, let's address the big T in the newsroom, or should I say in the room here, the question regarding tariffs. Do you think the two world leaders will really discuss that in that bilateral, which is going to happen in a few minutes from now in the White House? Or do you think they will leave it to their ministers, to trade ministers, to discuss that?
My guess is that Trump, being the kind of person he is, he doesn't mince his words. He's very blunt and he's very demanding, and he doesn't believe in diplomatic niceties. This doesn't mean that he's going to bludgeon our prime minister with his tariff demands, but I think it will be brought into the conversation. But from our side, we will try and give it a constructive look by saying that we are open to the idea of finding a solution to this issue where both sides gain, that we lower our tariffs to American products, for American products, and in your case, since you are our biggest single country trade partner and we have a lot of equities in this area, that we should also look at the possibilities of expanding our exports to the United States. And therefore, as has been said, we will look in terms of a possible trade deal and sign it by the time President Trump comes to India for the Quad Summit in later this year in autumn.
All right, Ambassador Sibal, pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much for your time here on NDTV.